Many times it's not what you say about the products that's important. It's how you feel about what you say about these products that are important. And that's why we want you to use them first. Because when you use them, you get the confidence to look at people's eyes, and what comes out from your stomach and your heart comes out in your mouth, and people feel what you say. And while you're following up, what you want to do, okay, if you're real smart, is you'll say, same stuff Shelly took you guys through, when are you going to rinse? Does anybody in your family use shampoo and rinse? Does anybody in your house use moisturizers? What kind of makeup do you use? Blah, 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 blah. And you start upgrading them on the rest of the Herbalife product line, okay? And so that you get them those other products. Because one of the things that's really important is a lot of people, they stop with just the diet, okay? And guess what? They're going to buy all these kind of products that you see sitting up on this table here from either you or somebody else, okay? And the difference of them buying them from you is a small difference. But if you do it, your distributors will do it. And when you have your whole organization starting to do it, it adds up to be the major $100,000 a year difference once you got a big group of distributors and stuff like that, because your people have a tendency to do what you do. How do you keep a customer motivated? Okay, I want to talk about how do you keep your customer motivated. You keep your customer motivated if you want to, when you're first getting your customer, you tell them your own testimonial. That's how you motivate them. You tell them your own testimonial. If you don't have a great testimonial, what's great about now as compared to when we started, because we had no stories, okay, and it was very difficult. All we talked about was the future and how it was going to be and how everybody was going to lose. Today, if you don't really have a great story because you haven't really lost much weight because you didn't have much weight to lose, you use other people's stories, okay, about how they've lost weight, okay, to keep the customer motivated, okay. Write this one down because this is a big one. You continue to go back and tell the person more stories and more stories and more stories. That's why we keep printing you lots of journals, okay, so you have lots of different stories to continue to tell people. Telling them one story is great. Showing them 4 stories is better. Showing them 100 stories every single month as time goes on, because it's, write this down, it's the fresh stories that keep you excited. Not only you, but them. Now the other place how you keep them excited is if you've got weight to lose, okay? If you've got weight to lose. Maybe you started off on the product and you lost 10 kilos right away and you were excited, okay? And there's no question when you're excited you sell lots of product, okay? But now let's suppose you've plateaued and you've still got 25 kilos to lose, okay? And now you're going back to your customers and you're trying to convince your customers it's gonna work, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If you stay the same weight over a month after month after month, you're not gonna keep your customers motivated, okay? Because they're gonna see that you are pitching something that's not reality because you are not continuing to lose your weight. So if you want to continue to make your customers excited, okay, that means that you have to take responsibility for your own weight, your own looks, your own face, your own health the most. Because that what you are is what you project, and that's what your people believe in, okay? And I'm not trying to put so much pressure on you that if you really got a lot of weight to lose here today and all that you got to get rid of it this week. I'm not saying that. What you got to do this week is you've got to make some progress. 1 pound, 2 pounds. Okay, next week, 1 pound, 2 pounds. I promise you, any of you that are having problems with selling the product, lose your weight and it'll take care of everything. I'm serious. Sometimes we have this ability to lie to ourselves about why things are not going right, okay? And it's keeping yourself excited, okay, is what's the most important. And when you're getting that weight down, you get excited and you get more confident and you get more courage, okay? And that confidence and that courage and that feeling that you love about the products is what transmits to people, okay? It's not always so much what you say about the products that's important. It's how you feel about what you say about these products that's so important. And people read that. Don't you think that they can? It's what's in your eyes. It's how in your voice. It's in your heart. Okay? That is what people believe in. Okay? So you got to take responsibility for yourself first and get excited about what's happening to you, and that will excite other people, because you have to match your pitch. If you're saying something and you are not matching the pitch, okay, then it's no wonder people don't believe so much. And again, I'm not trying to say it's got to be all at once. Here's the most important thing. Write this down. You got to make some progress, okay? Little by little by little by little, so that you can keep yourself excited. A lot of people have asked me how did I keep myself so excited back in the beginning? One, I was working on myself. And number two, I got lots of people, okay? If you have one customer and it's a refund, how's your business look? Bad, okay? If you got 100 customers and you only get 4 or 5 refunds, does it bum you out? Not much, okay? Because you got another 40, 50, 80 customers telling you their new experience about what's happening and what's going on and what's happening. Those stories is what keeps you excited. And those stories that you get that keep you excited, you tell those stories to other people and you keep them excited. Every time I go and do another rally and stuff like that, we've come back and we've seen other things happen to people and we've heard their stories, and I keep interjecting all my different stuff that happens, okay? And so keep it fresh by doing lots. Check out our little customers sometimes. Let's say you're down at the grocery store and your name is Bob, and you happen to be a truck driver, okay? And you're very excited about the products because you've lost 50 kilos and you're wearing your button and you're very proud about the product, and you are out there and you are shopping, and here comes Mary. She's waddling down the aisle and she's 100 kilos overweight, and she says to Bob, she goes, "Bob," she says, "could you tell me about the button, how to lose weight?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." He says, "This stuff's unbelievable. You're not even gonna believe it." And she goes, "Okay, I'll do it." She's very excited, okay? And now little Sally, she comes home and she's so proud, and she's all excited about her little box, and she puts it on the counter like this, and she has her little bottles and they're all set up and it's all neat and everything. She's got her orange juice over here to make it, and she's very excited. And then all of a sudden, her big fat negative husband walks in the door. And he opens up the door like this, and he's got his big fat belly with his t-shirt with grease all over it because he's an auto mechanic. And he walks over to the refrigerator and he opens up the door and he grabs a beer. And he drinks it down, and then he looks over and he goes, "Hey, what's that?" And she goes, "It's a new diet I'm gonna go on, honey." He says, "What? A new diet? I can't believe it." He says, "Where did you buy this from?" She says, "You're not even gonna believe it. I met this man down at the grocery store who was a truck driver who was wearing a lose weight now, ask me how button." He says, "I can't believe it." He says, "You've done some pretty stupid things before." He says, "How much did that cost?" She says, "Oh, about $200. What? Couple $100? He says, I can't believe you spent all my beer money. He says, this is just unbelievable. Okay? And just about then, the two little fat children walk into the room. And they go, what's wrong, Daddy? And they go, Mommy's going on a new diet. And they go, no, Mommy, no. Every time you use a new diet, you get real mad and irritable. Please, Mommy, don't use the diet. Just about then, the telephone rings. Ring, ring. And it says, how you doing, Mary? She goes, oh, terrible. She says, my big, fat, negative husband is yelling at me about using the product. It's just terrible. And she says, not only that, my little fat children are yelling at me too. She says, it's just terrible. And then the Herbalife person says, now listen, Mary, get a grip. He says, I don't care what your big, fat, negative husband says or what your little fat, chubette children say. I want you to get back in that kitchen and drink those shakes twice a day and take those tablets 3 times a day. About 2 months later, Sally is shrinking and shrinking. And her big fat husband keeps coming home every night. And after 2 months, he looks at her and he goes, ooh, oh, looking very nice, wife, yeah. And then he starts drinking the product, okay, and he starts shrinking. And then pretty soon they feel very confident and very lovely. And they hold hands and they take their little stroll down the street on this Sunday. And all the neighbors are seen. And all the neighbors want to get onto the product. And pretty soon, they're getting onto the supervisor position and the world team position. And they come back to the office, and they're working their way up to the GET team and the millionaire team. And finally, they're president's team members. So we have 2 unbelievable things. So we have 2 unbelievable things going. We have the magic of the product, and we have the magic of you calling the customer constantly and giving them the courage and the confidence to keep going, to make it.